1,000 YouTube subscribers. I could hardly believe it. Thank you all so much. It's Dominic from the Primetime Treasure eBay store and YouTube channel. I appreciate you all coming by to check out another video and for being supportive of this channel over the past 9 months. If you would have told me 9 months ago that I'd already have 1,000 subscribers, there is absolutely no way I would have believed you. However, hard work, believing in yourself, and just continually persisting and being consistent is one of the things that has allowed me to get to 1,000 along with all of your support along the way. So thank you to each and every one of you who has subscribed to this channel. Even if you haven't subscribed and you've come by and watched a video here and there, you just dropped a comment, maybe you hit a like button, maybe even hit the dislike button here or there. I appreciate all the interaction, all the comments. I've loved getting to know all of you over this past 9 months, and I wanted to take the time to reflect a little bit. Now, apologize for my raspy voice. I have been under the weather a bit for about a week or so. Just keep kind of going up and down, but it's late at night, so that's when I typically do my videos. So just bear with me. I will try not to make this super long, but there are a few key people I wanted to thank who have helped me along the way. Some of those people know it. Some of those people have absolutely no idea. These are other resellers who have YouTube channels. And I always want people who come to my channel to learn something from each and every video that you watch. And there's over 200 of them now. So hopefully I have accomplished that. And even in this video, in which I want to do a little bit of self-reflection and also some looking towards the future as to how this channel is going to grow and develop, and I always love your input regarding that. I still hope that there's some things that you pick up and learn from this, whether it's something motivational or whether it's another YouTuber whose channel that I cite that has been something that's been motivational to me or has helped me. Hopefully that helps you out as well. So let me just backtrack for a moment. I decided to go forward with this channel, as I said, about 9 months ago. The original plan was to start it off in January of 2018 as a yearly kind of New Year's resolution goal of mine. Start a YouTube channel, see what would happen. Well, I was motivated to do this towards the end of December, and I had some vacation time, and so I decided, you know what, let me just throw up a test video here before I go back to my regular full-time job, and at least I'll get 1 or 2 up. So really it was actually towards the very end of December that I started doing videos, and at that time I literally had no idea what I was doing. I picked up my camera, I remember, and I started filming just little parts of my laptop because I didn't know how to film from the laptop. Now obviously I do. You've seen that's been something I do on a regular basis, but back then I had no clue, and that's one of the first points that I want to pass on to you. You don't have to have everything perfect from the outset. Sometimes you just have to do it. In life you can make a lot of excuses to say, well, I'll start such and such when this happens, when X happens, when Y happens, when Z happens, as if you're going to always have the perfect situation. And if you're really busy, like most of us all are, there's usually not the perfect time or the perfect situation. You just have to go forwards, and you have to do it, and you have to just throw yourself out there and try. There's always things you could tell yourself in terms of reasons not to do it. For example, are there going to be people out there who are going to be mean on social media, who are going to say things that are cruel? Those are all things that can happen once in a while. You know, you could get a comment like that. I fortunately haven't really had to deal with too much of that. Maybe I'll deal with more of that in the future as the channel grows. But for the most part, my experience on YouTube has been overwhelmingly positive, to the degree that I'm actually surprised by it based on what I've seen in other social media venues. I'm not sure exactly why that's the case. I'm not complaining, but for other people out there who might be fearful of starting a YouTube channel for that reason. It hasn't been my experience so far. So of course there's always little exceptions, but really hasn't been my experience. Again, it's been overwhelmingly positive. Why did I want to start a YouTube channel? I want to start a YouTube channel because one of the things I like to do is I like to talk, and I like to teach, and I like to share knowledge. I feel at this point in my life that having started doing eBay back in 2000 when there were no phones to check comps, and I had to learn to do that just based on eyeing things and just how much I love comic books and collectibles. I felt like that's an area in reselling that general resellers don't do much with, that was something that I could share for viewers, something unique that I could bring. I felt that I could also bring you into some of these sales, into the estate sales, into the garage sales, and literally show you stuff at the scene rather than taking a bunch of stuff home and showing it to you all there. Not that that's bad, but I thought that I could just share my tips with you. I don't want to hide secrets from you. I want to be very open and transparent so that you could learn from the things that I'm learning, sharing be on the lookout items, things that you should be grabbing as well. I'm never fearful that that's going to be something that's going to affect me in any negative way. The way I look at it, there's tons of material out there. There's lots of fish in the sea to be caught. I don't have a wide enough net to capture all of it. Nobody does. And so why not just share in the knowledge so other people could benefit from it? I've certainly benefited from tips that a lot of other people have passed on, and I've marveled at some of the things other people have shared. And that brings me to one of the first people I want to shout out who has been influential and has been a reason that I started this channel, and that would be Casey the Rockstar Flipper. I was watching a lot of his shows before I decided to pull the trigger on doing a channel, and I was really impressed with how much time he gave to sharing things that he didn't have to share. And I learned a lot of things from that helped me out with my own business. One of the most important things that he taught me was how to properly set up my business for tax purposes. And my goodness, that was just absolutely enormous. The other thing that he helped me out a lot with was learning clothing. Clothing was not something I knew anything about, and literally sitting in these bins right here is filled with clothes that I still have to get listed. I've listed a ton. I've made a lot of money through doing that, but I really would not have gotten into that to any significant degree without watching Casey's video. So if you've not followed Casey the Rockstar Flipper, which most of you probably have, but if you haven't, if you're brand new, definitely go over there. The link is down in my description section. The other thing I marvel about with Casey, who does flipping full-time and reselling, how he helps people, he mentors people. And the other thing that he does is he's very, very savvy and smart about how he monetizes his YouTube channel and how he monetizes social media. And that's something I would like to learn more about and continue to do as well, but not just monetizing for the sake of monetizing. Monetizing by providing people a real service and a real value. So there's things that I have planned in the future that I'd like to develop, that I'd like to share to give people additional value for coming to watch this channel. So that's the first person I'd like to thank. Second person I would like to thank is Wade from Wade's Venture. Wade, you know, he's amazing. Just tonight, he contacted me out of the blue, and he said he was going to have somebody on his channel that reviews other people's YouTube channels to give constructive criticism, and he wanted to help me out. He wanted to help support this channel, and he offered to put it on. He didn't charge me anything for it. I gave him a super chat to support him, but he didn't ask for that. And Wade had me on earlier when I had like 300 subscribers. He liked the content that he saw, but he wanted to help support me. And Wade had like thousands of subscribers at that point. And there was no reason that he had to do that. He did not have to help me. He could have just help and build up his own channel by bringing in people who had 10,000 subscribers or 50,000 subscribers. But that's not what he did. He was helpful to a fellow reseller. And I've tried to model that as well by being as helpful as possible to people who drop comments or who contact me privately. It's one of the most impressive things that I've seen in the reselling community, even though there's sometimes you hear some bad, but my experience has been overwhelmingly that there's so much more good, that resellers as in general as a community really strive to help each other. And Wade's just amazing. Blows me away how he left a traditional full-time job to start reselling, and the passion that he has and the knowledge that he has. He's very complimentary towards me, but I could be 10 times complimentary back because that guy is incredible, and he's definitely a motivation for me, and he's definitely inspirational. So Wade, hope you're watching this. Thank you so much. And everybody watching this, please go check out Wade's channel. He has tons of live content. He's amazing on Instagram. One other example, just to show you how amazing Wade is. One day he contacted me out of blue just to call me, to talk to me and say, hey, listen, I like your channel and I want to give you a few tips on how to improve it. He wasn't charging me any money for it. Who does that? Wade does that. Wade's awesome. Go follow Wade. Third person that I want to thank would be Star from Flippin' Hippos. Star has also been amazingly supportive. Recently had me on her live show, so I want to thank her for doing that. We have something in common with the comic books and the nerdy items and the collectibles. And again, another person who's just been super enthusiastic and supportive of my Facebook group, the Facebook Reselling Resource Center, when I barely had any people who were there, like when I had like 200 people. Now there's 2,700 people in that group. It's incredible how things have exploded over the past year, not even year. But I want to thank Star also. So check out Star. She's got a lot of great content as well. She posts very frequently in terms of videos. So go check her out. I'm going to have her link down in the description section. Those are the three people who've helped me a lot or have been supportive of this channel and who I know personally I've developed a friendship with personally. There's two people who've been inspirational to me who I've not had a chance to meet. I've tried numerous times to reach out to them, but have been completely unsuccessful. So if anyone knows them, please let them know about this video. I'd love to hook up with them and touch base. So number 4, there's 2 more. Number 4 is Steve Rakin from Rakin Profits. While I am about to hit 1,000 subscribers and I'm excited about that, Steve is about to hit 100,000 subscribers on his channel. It's incredible. Steve's story is amazing, how he went from delivering pizzas or working at the Cracker Barrel, as he likes to say, to realizing he wanted to better his life and to start full-time reselling. And now he's developed essentially an empire, which is so amazing. I mean, Steve is doing webinars. Steve has got books and guides. He's got a website that he's shared with other people. He's very collaborative. He's very creative. Just an incredible guy, and I love watching his stuff. Go check him out, Rakin Profits. And the funny thing is, on his Instagram page, he has his mom who he loves to go around and thrift with, and he calls her Mama Profits, which cracks me up. That's her Instagram handle. Go check her out as well. That is the funniest name of all time, I think. Mama Profits. I love it. I hope she's watching as well, because I want to give Mama Profits a big shout out too. So that's number 4. Number 5. This guy, I don't know, words escape me in terms of what to say about him. His name is Pete. He's also known as the Craigslist Hunter. Again, you've got to just watch his stuff to see what he does. He has just blown me away, Pete. Pete basically is unique in the sense that, I mean, not that nobody else does what he does, but he has a full-time brick and mortar business called the Trading Post in Chicago. And he also runs an eBay business that's associated with that. One of the things that he does that just completely blows me away is that he just brings in enormous amounts of money for a relatively small amount of items that he'll post. So he'll post like 135 items. He doesn't have like thousands of items up at a time necessarily, yet he'll bring in tens of thousands of dollars based off of, or even over $100,000 just based off a relatively small amount of product, because he's very smart in terms of what he sources. He sources things other people don't want to go into. He's willing to work hard. He's willing to buy things in big bulky lots. He's willing to buy a lot of vintage bulk electronics. I learned a ton from him about that, and I have a bunch of bulk electronics that I purchased and have sold and have flipped for high dollar amounts because of watching his channel. So Pete, I am coming to Chicago next year, and if you're watching this, man, I am coming to the Trading Post, and I want to hook up, and I want to meet, and I definitely want to talk and see you in person. But please, if you have not checked out the Craigslist Hunter, you have got to. It's not. Don't get misled by the name. It's not all about Craigslist. Craigslist essentially has very little to do with it. Although one of the things that was very interesting about his channel when he started out is that what he was doing was putting these Craigslist ads together and basically just putting bait out there for people to see if they would bite. And sure enough, they would. He'd say, hey, I'm interested in buying X, Y, and Z. And people would say, great. And he'd go out and they'd send him a message and he'd meet and he'd make these huge scores. If you watch my videos, I do the same exact thing. Now, I was doing that before I watched Pete's channel because that's something that there are other people that do that, but Pete really just mastered it. And so watching how he approached it and how he did it was just super, super inspirational. So those are the 5 people I really want to thank in terms of other YouTubers. Don't get me wrong, there's other YouTubers that I watch as well that have been helpful, but those are the top 5 that definitely come to mind who have been helpful to me. Now, in terms of other subscribers to this channel, that has been an absolutely amazing part of this experience. Getting to know people like Carrie Berry's mom and learning about things about people's personal lives, like her daughter Carrie. Hi Carrie, if you're watching or listening to this. I've heard that Carrie has perked up sometimes when she has heard me say her name, so that's one of the things that's also blown me away. Is while I originally started this channel thinking, hey, I'm just going to help people out with reselling and give them some tips and hopefully they appreciate it, little did I know that I would become an important part of people's daily routines. That if I missed a video, people would kind of be thrown off a bit and send me a message, say, hey, what's going on? Like, we really were looking forward to a video this morning, and it's part of what we do in the morning is we listen to Primetime Treasure YouTube channel. And I was like, whoa, really? Wow. I mean, that's just amazing to me. So people have told me that the videos have helped fill a gap sometimes in their life where maybe there's something serious going on, there's like a medical issue or something going on in the family, and people just need like an escape. And so coming to watch one of the videos, and I think this is another thing about me kind of taking you into sales and showing you different locations and stuff is helpful, kind of like an escape. So that's been interesting to learn about as well, that I could have that kind of impact. But I've really loved the opportunity to get to know so many of you. People like Hickory Springs, whose real name is Valerie. People like Jesse Bellflower, who I've gotten to know more recently, who's just super awesome. And there's just so many people to name. I hate to just give a whole list because there's inevitably going to be people that I leave out, but people like Sheila Hamilton and Noel Griffiths and David Keogh and David and Paul Bear and just everybody, Laura Cohn. I mean, there's just so many people. Susie, there's just a million people to name. I'm not leaving out anyone on purpose, I promise. I just, it's late at night and it's hard for me to think of seriously everybody, and I just just kind of winged this video, didn't write a whole bunch of stuff down, or didn't write anything down actually. So sorry if I left anyone out, but please know I do appreciate every single one of you who've come by and who've commented on this channel. So one of the things I've got to consider now, since we're at 1,000, is how to grow the channel from here. I don't want to keep it static. I don't want to just keep it the same thing, because that's how I think channels get boring. I want to mix it up. I want to add things here and there. I want to still keep things that have been consistent. I do not think ever that me taking you into sales is ever going to go away. I don't think what sold videos are ever going to go away. I don't think tip videos are ever going to go away. Those things are all still going to be there, but I want to work in new stuff. One thing I'm definitely going to experiment with this year is live shows. I want to start a live show. The first one will probably be sometime in October. I'm probably going to try to figure out a consistent date for that, but I need a way now that I have developed this relationship with so many of you to be able to interact more fluidly. Yes, some of you contact me privately and send messages back and forth once in a while, or you leave comments in the comment section, which is great. Keep doing that. But I'd like to have more of an ongoing dialogue with many of you. So look for that. I'm going to make that announcement, of course, on this channel. It will be on my Facebook page and on my Instagram account, which is at Primetime Treasure, no S. So that's one thing. Other things I need to do is I need to develop the look and feel of the channel better, so people have a better idea of what it is when you arrive to it. I've had a lot of people compliment me on the content, and while on one level I'm surprised that we got to 1,000 subscribers so quickly, also there were times where I thought, based on what I was hearing from people, that the channel would have grown a little bit faster. And so I have some work to do on my end to learn more the ins and outs of what I have to do from a technical perspective to get this channel out there more. Certainly, I think word of mouth can help with that as well. So if there's ways you could share the channel with others and let other people know, I think that would help grow it as well. So live shows are definitely a new thing that I'm going to add. And like I said, just growing the look and feel of the channel. And we'll just kind of take it from there. Contests or giveaways is something I want to implement at some point as well too. So don't think I have not thought of that. I've already started doing that, by the way. In my Facebook group, we've had 2 giveaways so far. So, or contests / giveaways. So we'll be doing that here at some point as well. I've just got to figure out the right way to do that, and I want to make sure I do it right rather than just throwing something out there willy-nilly. So that's another thing. Now, if you have ideas and suggestions on things you would like to see, please definitely let me know that as well, and I will definitely take it under consideration as we move forwards into the future here with the Primetime Treasure YouTube channel. But again, thanks to so many of you for being supportive and for helping out. We're at the 1,000 mark, and just onwards and upwards from here. I hope you're motivated by the channel, and that's really my last point that I want to mention, is that this kind of takes it full circle to where I began, is that, you know, it's cliche that people say you could do anything if you put your mind to it, because, you know, literally, can you literally do anything if you put your mind to it? Probably not, just being realistic. But for most things that you set out as a goal, you could likely accomplish or come pretty darn close to it if you're willing to work hard at it and you're motivated. And that's really been the story of my life. And I'll probably do another video coming up that's a little bit more like about me. I have not really done one like that. I talked about it a little bit on Wade's show, because I really just felt if I don't have a significant subscriber base, who's really going to care about a video like that? But now, given the feedback I've had, I think I'll probably do one like that to, you know, do a little more sharing with you, so you get to know a little bit more about my background and story beyond what some of the stuff I shared already. So, but yeah, you know, if you're motivated, there's so many things you could do. You know, I could have easily said to myself, like I said, negative reasons why not to do a YouTube channel, and I'm never going to get to 1,000 subscribers, or there's already people like Casey and Wade and Craigslist Hunter and Raking Profits, and they're already so established and so successful, and I can't compete with that. You can't think that way. You just cannot think that way. When you're trying to start something out new, your goal cannot be from the outset that you're going to try to beat all these other people in terms of subscriber numbers or likes. It's not about that. If you're going to start something like this out, you've got to do it because you're passionate, because you love it. That's what's got to drive you. And I hope that passion comes across in my videos. That's what enables me to come down here at 12 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, come down here and do a video because I love it, because I'm passionate about it, and because I want to share things with you. My Facebook group, another good example. I mentioned earlier, it has over 2,700 people in it now. When I started last year, I obviously had 0. I would get excited when I got to 10 people. There were other, and there still are obviously, other Facebook reselling groups with over 100,000 people in them, or tens of thousands of people. You can't let that be a reason why you don't want to start something, but you've got to try to bring some angle towards, if you're going to start something new, to how you're adding value, how you're bringing something different that other people aren't doing. You know, I can't worry about my Facebook group or my YouTube channel not being the same as Casey's or the same as Wade's or the same as Pete's or so on and so forth. I've just got to do my thing. And so for my Facebook group, one of the cores is the be on the lookout item of the day. I felt like that I could add some value there for people in bringing that be on the lookout item and really diving deep into the item and into the comps and sharing that every single day. And I have not missed a day really, pretty much the whole time I've been doing it. I think there was like one time where someone else put up a really good bolo where I used that instead of mine. But so that was the core of it, and then I've just added things from there. I felt sharing YouTube video content that I've created, allowing other people to share their own YouTube video content would be helpful. Just being a little bit more open than some of the other groups are on Facebook to letting others share some of their own content. So basic point is, yeah, don't be scared to do something because other people have done it and are super successful at it, but think of how you can do it a little bit different, how you could do it a little bit better. So that's one main tip there. The other thing is, just because you haven't done something before, don't let that be the reason why you're not going to try to do it. I never ran a Facebook group like that ever before. I never ran a YouTube channel before. Before I started my medical website, medfriendly.com, I never ran a website before. I never started one, had no idea how to do HTML, anything. I just taught myself how to do it, experimented, and just grew from there. And that's how I've done so many other things in my life. Again, I could share more stuff like that in a different video, but I've always been someone who's looking for new challenges, looking to start something new, looking to dive into something new. So let me tell you a little story about how the Primetime Treasure YouTube channel almost ceased to exist very shortly after it began. I've never shared this story before. But in the very beginning, I was using, as I mentioned earlier, a very unsophisticated approach. I was, filming my laptop with my phone. I had my kids videotaping me, but not showing my face. And then I realized, well, that's not really going to work long term because people need to see my face to be able to make a connection. So shortly after that, I started showing my face more. And then I started going out actually into the field and showing you. In fact, it was last winter time when I did a video where I went out to the Bridgeport flea market. So go back to that early video when I went to that. And I'm in the car and I've got my brown coat on and I'm like zooming up into my face and I'm like, hey, we're gonna go out to this flea market. Well, my wife, who I jokingly referred to as Mrs. Primetime, found out through my daughter that I had made a video like that, and she was not happy about it. She's very private. That's why you've never seen her on these videos before, and it's probably why you never will. We're very different in terms of how private versus how open we are. I'm much more open, kind of like an open book, whereas she's different. But she was uncomfortable just seeing me put myself out there like that. And I can understand. I mean, it's very different. I mean, you've got this private life with somebody, and then all of a sudden they put themselves out there for the whole world to see. It was uncomfortable for me in the very, very beginning. And, even though I am open, I mean, it was definitely something new. Then you've got to kind of clear that hurdle psychologically. And she wanted me to take the video down. She didn't demand it, but she thought that I should. She didn't think it was a good idea. And while I do listen to what she has to say, and many times wind up agreeing with it, even though I might initially think it's not correct, after I reflect on it, I say, yeah, okay, you've got a point there. On this one, I was firm that I did not agree, and that I thought that what I was doing was the right thing. And I thought that I was going on the right path. I thought that eventually this would turn into something that would be successful. So I had a strong internal hunch about it, and I said, I'm sorry, but for now, I'm not taking down the video, and I'm going to keep it up. And I'm going to keep making additional ones like that. And I share that story not to say like, ha ha ha, I was right kind of thing. I share that story because if you really do truly believe in yourself and you believe in something, you could have people who are very, very close to you. It doesn't necessarily have to be a spouse. It could be a child. It could be, a parent. It could be, anybody, a best friend around you, tell you that maybe this isn't the best idea what you're doing. And you have to weigh it, you have to consider it. They might be right, but other instances, you might know more about it than they actually do, because you've maybe done more research into it. And while you're taking a risk, maybe you're taking a little bit of gamble, maybe you want to stick with it a little bit more. And I would encourage you to do that, to continue to stick with it a bit, to see if you're right, if you'll be successful. If not, if you do wind up embarrassing yourself, or you do wind up doing something that leads to a bunch of financial mistakes and stuff, then yeah, you have to reevaluate and you have to step back, but not prematurely. Make sure you give yourself the time to allow your goals to kind of play out and see if it's going to work out the way that you think they would. And if I would have just cut it at that point and just stopped, which I was tempted to do, I was just like, maybe this whole thing is just a bad idea and I should just stop it. I really, really would have regretted that. I don't want to have regret about that type of stuff. That's why I like to take on new challenges. I like to see how they're going to play out, and then we'll just kind of take it from there. So that's one tip I wanted to make sure I got across, and just tell you a little inside baseball there about something that happened towards the very beginning in terms of the development of the channel. So I hope that this motivates you a little bit to look inwards, challenge yourself, get yourself pumped up and motivated to take on some new challenges, and in any aspect of your life. Doesn't just have to be reselling. So that's pretty much it, I think, for today. I hope that this is a good recap and a good thank you for the 1,000 subscriber count being reached. Again, if anyone could get in touch with Pete or with Steve from Raking Profits, please let them know. I wanted to give them a shout out and a thank you. I will let the others know as well that I gave them a shout out, just so they know that they were recognized. And let's keep growing this channel. I'm excited to hear any comments or questions anyone has, or if you're still watching this video, if there was a favorite video you had, I would definitely be curious to know which one that was. So if you drop that down below, I would appreciate that in the comments. With that, it's time for me to take care of some other business, and I'll see everyone at the next video. Everyone, take care. Let's get another 1,000.